Our Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is back in the hospital undergoing treatment in the critical care unit at Walter Reed Medical Center. Peter Doocy joins us live from the White House with the latest. Peter, this was shocking news last night.
Yes, and initially when Austin was taken to the hospital by his security detail, the Pentagon press team told us that he had classified and unclassified ways to communicate with his staff, so he was going to continue fully as the SecDef. But that changed at 4:55 p.m. when they told us he was handing off his duties to the deputy Kathleen Hicks. And in a statement, the Pentagon is telling us after a series of tests and evaluations, the secretary was admitted into the critical care unit at Walter Reed for supportive care and close monitoring. At this time, it is not clear how long Secretary Austin will remain hospitalized. The current bladder issue is not expected to change his anticipated full recovery. His cancer prognosis remains excellent. So this is a bladder issue separate from the prostate cancer issue, but his serious health problems date back to December 22nd. That is when he went under for surgery, which he did not disclose to his boss, the president, for more than a week. President Biden later said it was an error in judgment for Austin to hold out on him about that, and ultimately never asked Austin to resign, actually putting out the word that he would not accept a resignation if offered. But this is the new system in action. The chief of staff here, Jeff Zients, says if a cabinet secretary cannot work, they have to let the White House know that is what happened here, and Austin remains in the hospital this morning. Back to you.
Peter, it's so cutting edge to have to tell somebody when you go to the hospital. So this is the new policy? I never heard of this, something like that.
Yeah, you gotta call out sick.
Yeah,
right.
Now, Pete,
tell somebody.
So, Peter, that news came out during the pregame show for the Super Bowl. When you were actually watching the Super Bowl, you got a call from the White House about somebody getting a promotion. Kirby's been promoted to a bigger role in the White House briefing room, right?
I did, and it was with like 2 minutes left in the first half, and I got a phone call from somebody here. I assumed it was a butt dial from somebody who was watching the game, but they were calling to make sure that we know that John Kirby getting promoted is not a demotion for the press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre. So basically, John Kirby is just going to have an expanded portfolio here. My read for the last couple months has been that Kirby is pretty much always in the room anyway when important communications decisions are being made. But he is going to have a fancier title and some more staff and some more help. But that does not diminish in any way what Karine Jean-Pierre is doing.
Who will be at the podium? Will we start seeing
it's a timeshare?
Timeshare is a good way to put it. It pretty much has been. I believe that Karine Jean-Pierre has had like 2 solo briefings since November, and the rest of them she's been joined by a guest. It is usually Kirby because they want him there to explain how the whole apparatus is operating with foreign policy.
Well, and he does answer more of the questions more thoroughly.
He did have a major mistake, or was he being too honest? When he said the Iraqis got a heads up when we took out one of the Khatib Hezbollah leader last week, and then he said, "Oh, I apologize, I had it wrong." We don't really know if he had it wrong or if the messaging was wrong. I guess there was no ramifications from that.
Well, he got promoted right after. So
yeah,
indeed.
So the answer is no.
So, Peter, I guess the way we started this, talking about his promotion and the way you learned it, do you get a lot of butt dials from the White House?
No comment.